Hey guys, welcome. Today we are covering the Korean War. We're going to do some stations today to get all of the information, but hopefully you are starting here with this video to get the overview. So as a reminder, here are my expectations. Pay close attention to that second one and make sure you are hearing my voice or reading the words on the screen using closed captioning. Go ahead and write down our essential question in the first box of your notes. So today we're focusing on how does the United States really attempt to contain communism in Asia. So in the short video, you're going to learn four things. We're going to talk about the historical context, a little bit of background information we should understand. Then we'll talk about the causes of the causes of the Korean War. Then we'll talk about our definition, big word of the day, which is containment, and we will finish up with the results of the Korean War. So, starting off with some background, and I do have a spot after your notes to do a little drawing and labeling, so feel free to kill two birds with one stone with this slide. But here is a picture of Korea, which at the time in the 50s was or before the 50s was one country. And what happens after World War II is that country is split in half. And so we see that the northern half of Korea, the top part here, becomes communist. And the southern part stays democratic. And in the middle, we have a line. It's a little over dramatized by this drawing, but we have a little line that separates them, and that line is called the 38th parallel. If you remember back to maps and how we have longitude and latitude, the 38th parallel is the line that goes horizontally and crosses Korea, dividing them into north and south. So this is where we're starting with this war. We have two sides, different governments, different belief systems, in very close proximity to each other. And so our causes. What we're going to see, the main cause here is that North Korea is going to take some aggressive action. They are going to attack South Korea. They're going to cross the 38th parallel and they're going to attack the South Koreans because they and their ally, the Soviet Union, if you remember from our last video, is also a communist country at the time. They figured the United States would not fight to defend South Korea. They did not think the United States was going to mobilize the army, send people abroad to protect South Korea, and they were incorrect in this assumption. And the reason they were incorrect is because the United States has a policy at the time called containment. And this is like our word of the day. When we think the Korean War, we're going to think about containment. And containment is the idea that we want to stop communism from spreading. And so because the United States believes at the time that communism is bad and we don't want it to spread to other countries, we're going to send our military to support South Korea to protect them so they do not become communist as well. We want to keep them a democracy. It's good for us. That is our ally, and more allies means we are safer. And so I know it's a little potato quality, but I have a map here that shows as the war progresses, what happens. And so here we are at the beginning, where the orange half at the top, North Korea, they invade South Korea. They actually capture the capital of Seoul. So they cross the 38th parallel. And then throughout the months, they do even better. After a couple months, they have almost the entire area of Korea. It's all North Korean territory except for this little tiny bit. This is when the South Koreans, aided with United States military, pushes back. And so after that initial, takeover by North Korea, the South pushes back, and all of a sudden they go up past the 38th parallel and well into North Korean territory. And the way we finish is right back at the start. And so North Korea gains a bunch of land and then loses it, and then South Korea gains a bunch of land and then loses it, and then we return back to exactly where we started, which is a little frustrating. I find this war a little bit frustrating, thinking about the people who died and how the outcome was exactly where we started. 38th parallel. North Korea has their side, South Korea has their side. And that's kind of the big result of the war. Is I don't know if you're a chess player, but if you ever play chess, a stalemate is the most frustrating option. A stalemate is when we agree there is no winner to this game. That is exactly how the war ends. North and South Korea stay divided by the 38th parallel. We also see more fear of communism in the US, which we will keep talking about as the unit progresses. And overall, we're not super happy with this unsuccessful war, and we're going to see that Eisenhower, the Republican, takes the White House in 1950. All right, guys, that's my last slide for you. Thanks for listening. After this, you're going to move on to the next station.